Chris and Parx-e Show here with episode 8. Today the show is all about Jasmine Nelson and her fantastic album Hercules. It has been launched this month on the 24th of September at Bennett's Lane, and I reckon it's one of the best albums of 2015. Yeah, I'm a little bit biased. Yeah, she was on my latest compilation, this Parx-e Volume 4, but I think the album is incredible. She's a fantastic singer-songwriter. She came to Parx-e HQ today to film an interview, and she gave us an exclusive performance. So sit back and enjoy the show. G'day, this is Chris from Parx-e Show here with the lovely Jasmine Nelson, who's kindly getting up for time today to talk about her amazing album Hercules, which is coming out. I do have to give a biased note though before those watching. She has been featured on Parx-e Volume 4, which I put out via my website, Parx-e. So with that in mind, she's a fantastic singer-songwriter. I reckon her album's one of the best of the years, and let's get the ball rolling. So it's finally coming out. So what was the inspiration behind Hercules?
Well, the title track, Hercules, I wrote, kind of came up with on a train journey, and for years I'd been writing my own songs, but was a little bit too shy, I suppose, for lack of a better word, to show people. And so the song Hercules was sort of about prompting yourself to put yourself out there, and from then I just decided to choose a range of songs that I'd already written or was in the middle of writing, and then make a collection of songs, really. So the whole album was written on a piano with the soft pedal on so I didn't disturb the neighbours, basically. So that was the sort of atmosphere as I was writing, and all of the songs have that in common.
So had you done any recordings beforehand, or?
I had, yeah. I hadn't released anything. I'd done a bit of recording in the years maybe between 2009 and 2012, 2013, and I didn't get to a point where I wanted to share them. I suppose it was really important to me that the songs that I would be sharing would be very much me, and have a meaning behind them that I could feel. And it took me a while to, I suppose, assemble that and put it together into this album.
Cool. So with those recordings you'd done, was the recording process different to when you were doing the album from what you were doing earlier, or was it more or less the same way?
Very similar. Yeah, very similar. The only difference being that the songs that I recorded here were all written by me, so it felt a lot more personal and a lot more intimidating to record them in the first place. Whereas before, some of the things I've recorded that I've never released were a lot of covers and jazz standards. But now, yeah, leaning into writing my own songs, it was a lot more intimidating. So I suppose the process for me was a lot more nerve-wracking, I found. That's the only difference, I would say.
So how did you go in the studio? Were you prepared, or did you just let it fly when you went into the studio?
I was very prepared. I played my songs to two producers, Grant Windsor and Graham Blevins. They came over one afternoon, and I played about 15 different songs, and they both expressed that they would love to produce the album if I would just choose the songs I'd like to record and complete them, and think about how I would want them arranged, and then we went into the studio and they did their production magic and really encouraged and supported me throughout the whole process, and gave so much to the album in terms of production. But really it was, I had completed the songs and I was ready to lay them down, I suppose.
So how did you choose which producer you wanted to go with, and how did choosing the studio come about that you wanted to record in?
Well, I knew Grant Windsor and Graham Blevins before. They're both incredible musicians and producers, and I'd known them for a long while. And I'd heard their ideas about music and what they believed in terms of what goes into a project and the thought that goes into it. And they just inspired me to do it for myself, to put it together and share it. And I suppose they also had a lot of input in terms of the studios that we recorded in. So we wanted to have the piano as a main focus, because most of my writing I do alongside the piano, with the piano. And so we wanted that to be a big feature. So that was a big discussion, I guess, in recording.
So what did you take away from recording the album, and how it was done, what you'd use for future releases?
Time. I think taking time. Before this recording, I had an idea that everything should just be done immediately and very quickly, and I realised that actually it takes a lot of consideration and a lot of crafting exactly how you want something to feel, and that takes time. And maybe I'm just slower than most, but I enjoyed taking the time with it, and both in the songwriting process on my own, but also recording. And I think I'll always try and remember that each time that I go to record in the future, hopefully, that I will take time with it and allow the time for things to develop, not feel rushed.
So your album has been released in Japan. How did that come about, and how does it feel to have an album released in a country that is known for loving good quality music?
Well, it came about with one of the producers. Grant Windsor was in Japan working with another artist, and he took my album over and gave it to a label, and they went away and listened to it, and then came back and said they were interested and offered me a deal that I was absolutely thrilled to be offered. And I feel so excited to have my album launched there. I've had some lovely messages of support from fans that they're enjoying the music, and that feels really, really lovely to be able to share it in a territory that I've never been to, and I hope to go to someday. So it was a really wonderful thing to have happened, definitely.
Because Japan, they are known for a lot of Western music, so a lot of acts who may not ever get released in their own territories, but they can get a record deal in Japan and get loved by the Japanese fans, and that's a pretty cool thing. So, and your album's going to be released here in Australia, so excited about finally releasing in your home turf?
I am, yeah. I'm very excited / nervous, like the whole nerves, excited, everything's all mixed up. I'm really thrilled. I'm really proud of the album. A lot of amazing musicians played on the album, and I'm thrilled to be releasing it, definitely, in Australia, and intimidated, but very excited nonetheless.
So do you plan to do a tour of Australia, or are you just going to release the album here, launch the album here locally, then see what happens, or?
Yeah, I'd love to do a tour. I'm actually looking into house concerts and how that I can maybe use that as a starting off tour. But nothing's in the works yet. I've got the launch on the 24th, so I'll do that, and then over the next couple of months see if I can figure something out so I can play around Australia.
Cool. So what have you been listening to recently that's inspired you as an artist to go, geez, Wish I was sort of doing it like that.
What have I been listening to? A lot of different music. Beck, I love Beck as an artist. His latest album is incredible, beautiful, and so I find that very, very inspiring. I've been listening to Inara George. She's a singer from the States, and she works in a group called The Bird and the Bee, and I really enjoy their music. What else have I been listening to? Katie Noonan. A lot of different things, I suppose. It's hard when you put on the spot.
That's cool. So you got any plans to do any like video clips or stuff like that, or?
I do, yeah. I've actually going to be filming for my song Heart, a video clip at the very beginning of October. So that's in the works now. We were just storyboarding yesterday, and I'm so excited to do that. And once again, very nervous because I've never done a film clip like that. So yeah, that's in the works. Hopefully come out soon.
So what does the rest of 2015 have in store for you? And what does 2016 mean to you?
The rest of this year, I'm going to be celebrating the release, I suppose. It's been a big hurdle for me, an exciting hurdle, but a hurdle nonetheless. So I'm really looking forward to getting it out and celebrating that. The video clip will be done in October, so I'll be sharing that with everybody. 2016, I'm hoping to record towards the end of 2016. I have some songs that I've been working on for the last few months that I'm starting to think might come together to form an album at the end of next year. So that's in the works.
So if you could collaborate with anybody, who would it be?
Rufus Wainwright.
Nice. And if you could put the ultimate lineup, including yourself, who would it be?
Wow, okay, that's a dream. Okay, Rufus Wainwright, Leor, Katie Noonan, Tom Waits. This is dreaming big.
Nothing wrong with that.
Michelle Nadegiacello. I can't think of anybody else right now, but there are a lot. There are so many more, and I've drawn a blank, but I think that's pretty strong so far.
So why do you think social media to you is important, and how important is engaging with your fans?
I think it's really important. I'm very new to it in terms of putting my music out to people, and I think it's really important to share with your fans what you're working on, and in the hope to inspire them of whatever's going on in their life. I've just found, following some of my favourite artists, that when I see what they're doing, first of all, I feel so grateful that they're showing me what they're doing in the first place, showing everybody what they're doing in the first place, but also really inspired, and it brings so much joy just seeing somebody else do their thing and show you what they're making. I think it's just really special, and I suppose for a long time I didn't think that I would be doing the sharing, but it's nice to start that up now.
I'll leave you with one last question.
Okay.
If you could have anybody in a video clip, who would it be?
I'm going to say Rufus Wainwright again. He's on
Nice.
the top of my head. Yeah, there's so many, but yeah, I will say Rufus Wainwright.
So Hercules is coming out this month. She's launching at the Bennett's Lane on the 24th. Go check her out. She's a fantastic artist, and I appreciate your time again for chatting.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Nice.
Oh, Cecile, I've got your number on a card. Your card. Do
so hard. I thought I would be lonely, and then my walls came crashing down around. But there I found my lover on the ground. The ground. He is my one and only. Things may change around, but you'll be safe and sound. For a time, you held me tightly as I slept. We slept, but now at night I hold myself instead. Instead, it has to be the way. And when my girl says she's scared, so scared, will I let her crawl into my bed? My bed. I wonder what you'd say. Things may change around, but you'll be safe and sound. Things may change around, but you'll be safe and sound. Safe and sound. Safe and sound.
Alright, that was the show. You gotta go to Jasmine Nelson's album launch on the 24th of September. It's gonna be a great show. Jasmine Nelson is a fantastic singer-songwriter and a total sweetener. I kindly thank her once again for giving up her time to come to Parx-e HQ to chat about the album, let us film her, perform a song. Hercules is one of the best albums of 2015. I rate it highly. You gotta check it out when it comes out, and you gotta go to her launch if you're in Melbourne. She's a fantastic singer-songwriter. I know she's gonna go very far. And once again, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.